So we are here because we exist. And I say here in quotes because here just means not physical here, but just present. We are present because we exist. If you close your eyes and try not to exist, you can't because you just exist. But your awareness of your existence, just being aware that you exist, because you can't exist and not be aware of your existence. That awareness is an observation, right? You're observing your awareness of your existence. And once observing something, anything, you've established an identity as an observer, right? You now know yourself to be an observer, aware of your existence. So as an observer, you also have a perspective of what you are observing, right? You're observing something from the lens of your awareness of your existence. Then with a perspective, the energetic field reflects back to you your perspective of what you're observing. So your perspective of what you're observing is reflected back to you. You then learn from what is reflected back to you, and you can then make choices about what is reflected. You're still observing, and you're learning about what your perspective is of what you're observing. So in essence, you are a co-creator in the dance of your perspective and what is reflected. You are here, quote unquote, present, existing, to play in an energetic field. We are all energy. Everything is energy. Atoms are energy. You have created an identity as a physical entity so that you can experience what you've created and continue to create, so to speak. The physical entity or physical identity allows you to experience the observation, or what is observed, what is perceived, what is created, so to speak. Though in actuality, you are not creating anything actually physical, you've just created the experience of it. The universe is brilliant and so beautiful and so loving, and you get to play in this field. You have the power to do that because you exist. You are. So when people talk about manifestation, it's nothing outside of you. It's not something that comes to you. It's not something you need to work hard to do. It's just really the process of remembering who you are, remembering that dance of existence, awareness, observation, perspective, reflection, and getting really good at that, building that muscle of remembering what you're capable of. No, this is not a magic pill. It is who you are. This is a process, a journey, so to speak. All you're doing is building a relationship with who you truly are, remembering who you are, letting go of your tight grip on who you identify yourself to be. So, one of my favorite analogies is the virtual reality headset. When we put it on, it feels real. And from the outside, looking at the person wearing the headset, as they are moving their bodies and behaving as if they are there, imagine your true self watching your identity self wearing those headsets. It looks pretty funny, right? And your goal as a being is to continue wearing the headsets and enjoying the experience, but also while being aware that the experience is exactly that, just an experience. So we are capable of shifting our reality in every moment. In actuality, we are shifting our experience in every moment. We do that seamlessly. But here's the key. We haven't figured out how to shift consciously and deliberately. It's kind of like the difference between an automatic car and a stick shift. Most of us are driving automatically and experience the world as we just go from one place to another. We think we're controlling our experience, but we're only really observing and expressing what we feel about the experience. We express our feelings about the experience externally and then continue to automatically drive to where more experiences exist, like the ones we are focused on, the ones we are constantly expressing. You know, people say you get more of what you focus on. It's kind of like that. What we really want to do is move from the automatic driving to manual driving, where we are actually controlling not only the experience, but what we are observing. We tend to want to take control of what we observe and experience by actually controlling what we observe and experience. I'm going to say that again. We tend to want to take control of what we observe and experience by actually controlling what we observe and experience. However, that would be like yelling at the screen within the virtual headsets to change what we see. So the way to change what you observe and experience is not in the virtual reality world that we perceive. It is in the perspective that informs what we observe and experience. Your perspective controls the car, either automatically, or another way of saying that is unconsciously, or manually, or another way of saying that is consciously. When you control the car consciously, it is because you are aware of both what's in the virtual headsets and the true nature of the self that is observing you in the virtual headset. The key to all this is in building that relationship. Most of us only think that all that exists is within the virtual headset, but we cannot deliberately manifest or control what we observe from there. So then when we understand this concept, we get super excited and then say, okay, I get it. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to manifest. But what we really want to say is, okay, I remember who I am. I am because I am. What appears as duality is really singularity. I have command over my perspective. Thus, I already control what I observe and experience. Then we want to say, yes, okay, I get all that, but what are the actual steps, right? How do we do this? And what I would say is, what would it take for you to remember who you really are? For you to remember who you really are. What would it take for you to be able to let go of thinking that you are only your local identity? What would it take for you to play with energy and discover yourself, what it is made of? How can you use it? How is it who you are? How would you find you? And ultimately, who are you? Once you are aligned with you, the how becomes irrelevant. It just will be, it just is in the now. I'm going to say that again. Once you are aligned with you, the how is irrelevant. You wouldn't be asking that question. So ask yourself those questions, and please let no one tell you there is the way or one way. They can only share their way. For each and every one of us, the path is and will be different because we are not all starting from the same place, the same perspective, the same experiences, the same observations. Where you are right now is where you begin. And that beginning has to start with you. That is a request within. So the answer to the how is within you. Ask yourself what you need to do right now to remember who you are. Ask yourself, who am I? Because yourself will tell you. Yourself will open those doors and bring people and clear paths and send you messages. Yourself will provide you with a custom plan of action to find your way to you. How long does that take? It takes as long as you take. But here's what you must remember. You must know you are on your path when you begin to enjoy the journey and the destination becomes less important to you, because you'll realize that there are many destinations. And as soon as you reach one, the desire to reach the next is already unfolding. Destinations are just endless unfoldings like lotus flowers. It's a pattern of experience that keeps opening to more experiences and desires for more experiences and more destinations. And you will know when you realize that there is no time. It is all now, and everything will begin to feel accelerated in the now. Things will begin to feel like they're happening quickly. And that's when you will say, oh, I know how to manifest things because look at this, look at that, look at all these things that I've done. You just want to be careful with that perspective, though, because that could easily pull you back into thinking you are only creating from your local identity. So begin to play with who you are. Begin to play with your own energy and see what happens. Try not to seek what others are doing. That will just become an endless search within the virtual headset world. Get lonely. Seek solitude. Get quiet. Let go and allow your own being to speak to you and guide you. It does all the time. Just listen and have fun with it. Much love.